Everyone, welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we thank God for all those of you who decided to join us here on our live broadcast. We're very thankful to you, and it is a marvelous day here in Atlanta, and we thank God again for all those of you who are decided to join us here on the live broadcast. We had to make an emergency stop. We had a friend in need, and there's a friend in need is a friend indeed. So we had to run out here, but nevertheless, we are back here in our undisclosed location. No, actually, it's our home studio. Again, we're thankful for all those of you who have joined in here in the broadcast, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on Facebook, whether it be on Periscope. However, you are listening to us, we are very thankful for those of you who are doing that right now. Anytime we do this show, we have with us a queen. And we're talking about the one and only Miss Tree Dolman is in the building. Tree, welcome back to the Real Talk Sports Show.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Hi, Jonathan. How are you doing?
What's going on, Tree? How you doing?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Did you have a good weekend?
Yes, every weekend above ground is a good weekend.
Now, see, that's a true statement. And of course, when we have the queen, we also have to have the champion, two-time Super Bowl champion, and Fort Valley State Sports Hall of Famer, the one and only Tyrone Poole is now in the building. Tyrone, welcome back, sir.
Hey everybody, how you doing? How you doing, Tree?
We're doing great, sir. Pretty exciting here. Another weekend. As Tree said, we're above ground. It's great, beautiful day today, and lots going on in the world of sports, but also a lot going on outside the world of sports. And before we get into that, we're going to go to social media. Let's see what people are saying already. Our man Todd, he says the following. He is just thankful that Will Smith did not slap me today. Oh, and that's going to be the opening question, boys and girls. Will Smith, well, I'll just say he slapped him. We won't use that other word, the female dog, but that's what he did. He smacked the you-know-what out of Chris Rock last night. For those of you who did not watch the Oscars, Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Smith, who, of course, is Will Smith's wife, and evidently Will was having none of it. And during the middle of the broadcast, he gets up and bam, smacks Chris Ross right in the face. So now my question is to you two guys. Do you think that was a real slap or was that a setup? What y'all think? Miss Dolman, I'm going to go to you first. Get the female's point of view.
Well, when I first saw it, I wasn't watching the Oscars, but when I first saw the replays of it, I was like, oh, that's not real. That was staged. At least that's what I thought. But then once I found out the LAPD got involved, then I realized that it was actually real.
Dang, LAPD got involved for real?
Yes.
Dang. All right, Tyrone, what are your thoughts about Will Smith getting backslapped? Do you think it was real? Number one, do you think it was a setup?
When I heard about it, actually, I did not watch the Oscars, but I did go through my social media, and within an hour of it happening, it had already generated like so many views. So what I said, people called me, and I said to determine whether or not it's real or not. If it was staged, then they're gonna play with it for a week at least, and then try to come out, ha 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 ha, it was all fun and games. But if it was real, I've learned this, and we all know this, even with injuries. They say wait until the next 24 hours. That will tell you how severe that injury is. I said within 24 hours, if somebody has not made a statement, then it was not real. But within 24 hours, if a statement has been made, because this thing was generating legs, and if you're going to stop and do damage control, you do it within 24 hours. And that is what happened, my friend.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of crazy. And I'm going to get another woman's opinion on this. Good friend of mine here, we a little car situation. So she's going to jump in and give you her opinion on whether she thought it was real or not. The lovely Miss Monica Colbert has joined us. So Monica, what do you think? Was that a real slap or was that a fake?
I think it was real. At first, I thought it was fake, but I watched it a few times and checked out Will Smith's demeanor, and the brother just lost it.
Well, now him and Wood have had some issues in the past. He was trying to make up for that by jumping on and smacking him like that.
He's overcompensating because people are calling him weak because he allowed that to happen. So yeah, he's feeling some kind of way. So he had to show his masculinity and do that.
Wow. Well, there you go. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have made that move. I don't think. I mean, you're a well-known actor. I'm like, hey, and especially coming off the movie he just did about Serena and Venus. I mean, you're thinking this guy wants to keep a good reputation. So I don't get it. Let's go to social media one more time here. And Todd is saying, he said, let's get him on here. He said it was staged. He said ratings was on life support. Will was laughing after he slapped him. I mean, that's to me, that's what I kind of thought. The Oscars have been kind of dry, and I thought that, hey man, Will was kind of trying to do a little something. So that's my thought about it. I think it was a staged situation. I'm just saying.
Well, either way, it's not putting no dollars in our pockets.
Right, and either way, it's not a good look.
Exactly. It put some dollars in Chris Rock pocket because I heard Chris was about to do something, or he got something coming up, and actually, ticket prices went up. So it worked.
Hey, listen, man, all this stuff, you know what they say about Hollywood? Some publicity, any publicity is better than no publicity.
Yeah.
So everybody, what are we all talking about? We're on a sports show, and we're talking about Will Smith and Chris Rock. And everybody knows, like you said, who's going to his next show. That's going to be part of his routine. The whole thing about what happened with him and Will and Jade and all that kind of nonsense. So, it's just, to me, it's all hype. So, I don't know. I mean, that's just the way I look at it. But anyway, for those of you who watched the Oscars, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, Tree, I know you watched a little bit. Any comments about the fashion?
I did not.
Oh, you didn't watch it at all?
No, I didn't watch the Oscars.
Oh, dang,
I said I did not watch it, but I saw the clips on social media and on the world news.
Wow. And there's my man Todd. He's like, yep, he's having none of it. Well, anyway, enough of that. Like I said again, I don't believe any of it. I think it's all hype. Hollywood has kind of gotten to the point where you just can't trust anything. So that's all I got to say about that. All right, we're going to take a little break, guys. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Please don't go anywhere. All right, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Don't leave, please. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
All right, we're back here on the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the minister. Right next to me, the lovely Miss Tree Dolman, and right underneath is the champion Tyrone Poole. All right, guys, I want to shift gears a little bit here. How about the Atlanta Hawks? Trae Young continuing to try to make sure that they are going to be in the playoffs. Another great performance by Trae. And what do you guys think about them closing out? Do you think they have any shot to get out of that playing game? Tree, what do you think? I think they're 4 games out from doing that right now.
No, I mean, the way things are going is kind of up and down. So I just assume that they probably will have a playing game, but it is nice to know that they're over 500 for the season right now, and they just have to keep getting those W's, but we'll see. It's up and down. They are playing hard. Sometimes they're getting the W's, sometimes they're getting the L's.
Tyrone, how about you? What do you think about the Hawks? Do they have any shot of getting and avoiding that playing game?
Well, you know what? When I look at the Hawks, I'm like, they are doing finally what we all said they needed to do, which was to find that momentum, and they did it. I don't know why they always wait until the end, but I'm pretty sure Coach Nate McMillan doesn't like that, himself being a former player. But the point is, they have a little momentum. But they finished 7-3 the last 10 games, and we've always harped on the show about, they need to finish somewhere 7-3, 8-2 when they compare the 10-game stretch. But when I look at it, I'm looking at the teams they got coming up. They got the Thunder, the Cavaliers, the Nets, Raptors, Wizards, Heat, and the Rockets. Now, the Thunder and the Rocket, they are in the West, and both of them are like at the bottom. So really, they can make some strides. The Hawks can make some strides. They got the Cavaliers, who are in the number 7 spot, the Nets in the 8th spot, the Raptors in the 6th spot, and then, of course, they got the Heat in the number 1 spot. So I don't think they can do anything to affect the Heat, but they can do something as far as when they play the Nets and the Raptors and the Cavaliers. So, hey, you get hot at the right time. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, no doubt. This team has the ability to play very well. The one thing I really kind of question Coach Nate all this year really is his unwillingness to play some of the younger players. I mean, especially Jalen Johnson, who to me is a guy that's very dynamic, gives you kind of a similar type game of that you have with John Collins, except I think he's probably a little bit more active defensively. And I just don't understand. The other thing I don't understand is why they don't play what the guy called Trae Young 2.0 with Shariq Cooper, hometown guy. He's gotten very few minutes. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think to me, that's one of the problems the Hawks maybe haven't played as well as they've had with all the injuries because they're not using some of these younger players who they've been balling out in the G League. And Jalen Johnson, every time he comes up here to play, except for those first couple of games, he looks like he's a baller.
Yeah, well, Nate already had said at the beginning of the season that once it gets closer to the playoff times that he is going to stop playing so many players. And you find that a lot of teams actually do that where they keep their core people and they just bring in a few subs. So even some of the main players who have been here longer, they weren't getting as much playing time because of that. And it was nothing that they had done. I mean, they were playing great, scoring big buckets. But again, he said that that's the rotation that he wanted to use. And he told them he was going to use that. And it's been successful for him in the past. And so the players all knew going in that he was going to shorten down the list of the players going in the game. So I really don't see the younger guys getting in to be part of that rotation when even the guys that have already been here aren't even getting as much playing time or barely getting into that rotation.
Yeah, Tyrone, what do you think about that? You think that I heard obviously what Tree said and what he said, but do you think these younger players are guys that can make some impact here on this Hawks team?
Well, this is what I understand here. Winning championships, this is the formula for success. It's talent plus teamwork. So if you got talent, you got to get them guys in the mix and let them be a part of the team so everybody understands who is who. Because sometimes there are some plays being run out there on the court or on the football field or on the ice, if you want to talk about hockey, that sometimes you just feel it. You're like, okay, I'm going to throw the ball a little sooner, or this guy's going to set this pick a little sooner. So you could have talent, but you got to get them guys in there and let them work together so you can formulate that. You know what? I just feel the flow of the game. I feel you. I felt you moving towards the basket. So, boom, that's why I threw that no-look pass. But if you don't get these guys in the mix, then and let them work with the team, then, again, I don't see how you can be successful because I believe in basketball, just like any sport, the team is only as good as the depth in the bench.
Yes, that's my point on this whole thing, man. I just think, again, that these guys, especially – see, if the Hawks didn't have as many injuries – I think that you can kind of get around that. So, hey, we're going to play that short bench. But this team is constantly banged up, whether it be DeAndre Hunter, whether it be Bogey. Bogey, he kind of can play every other game. So I'm like, hey, man, get these young guys in there. They got fresh legs. They have a lot of energy, and they can play. I mean, Jalen Johnson is an above-the-rim guy, very exciting player, and you don't have the John Collins who brings you that type of energy. I'm like, get this kid some playing time. And Shariq Cooper, the same thing. He's the guy. His game is similar to Trae. He may not be as good an assist guy, but he's got that same type of ability to push the ball up, to make plays on his own. So to me, those two guys should get more playing time. That's me personally.
Yes, but I have a question. We
go
hear
ahead.
about their offense, but how is their defense?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Based on the
That's
Hawks, the way they play defense, it really don't matter because the
No,
team
you
is
can't
terrible.
say that because the Hawks have been playing good defense. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't look at when they're looking at these young guys. Yeah, and that's also the thing with most young guys. They think about scoring and all they think about is offense. But in order to be successful in the NBA, you have to be defense minded. And a lot of these young guys are younger guys. Yeah, they can move the ball up, they can dunk, they can score. But how is their defense? Because if you can't stop these teams, especially when you're getting to the playoff season, and we know how important defense is, you have to make big stops. You're definitely not going to see the court. If you can't play defense, you're going to be on the bench.
Yeah. Unless your name James Harden, then you can go ahead and not play so much defense. You just shoot the ball.
Well, James Harden. I mean, guys, man, that's a tough one, bro, because he's one of the best scorers in the league.
James Harden playing no defense. What?
Huh?
James Harden playing defense now?
No, I'm saying you're talking about James Harden. Nobody's worried about him playing defense, bro, because he's normally top 5 in scoring every year. So they're like, dude, just go ahead and put the ball in the basket. We don't care what your man does. We'll help you.
I'm making a point off what Tree's saying. These young guys, they look at these older guys, and I'm saying, James, that's why I said unless your name is James Harden. It's almost like you can't come to football practice late unless your name Tom Brady or your name Lawrence Taylor. If your name ain't Lawrence Taylor or your name ain't Joe Montana, your name ain't a big name person, then like Tree said, you better play defense, contribute on defense, just like you do on offense.
Oh yeah, man. Listen, at the end of the day, this team, that's been really kind of their difficulty. They just don't have the ability to play defense consistently. They played it in spurts, like you said, Tree. They've done a little bit better in these last, 5 or 6 games, but they were on the bottom of the league as far as this going on. Now, Todd always has to throw some shade. He said earlier, Preacher, somebody need to stop Trae Young. Playoffs are getting out of reach. LOL. Yeah, I mean, you can say that. I know Trae is ball intensive, but the bottom line is he's the best scorer on the team. I mean, it's the best option. And then he says, Tyrone reports, your old coach is getting impatient, doing interviews, quotes, no playoffs in 3 years, Bill on a hot seat, LOL. What have you done for me lately? Yeah, well, Todd, we'll talk about football a little bit later on, bro, but I don't think Bill Belichick is on a hot seat, sir. I mean, Bill's fine, and he's got a young slinger with Mac Jones that kind of reminds everybody of Tom Brady, so I wouldn't worry too much about Bill Belichick at all. So, but save that for the football. All right, yeah, guys. So the Hawks are looking mediocre. I think that if they can get hot in the postseason, they got a chance to make a little rumbling. But that play is going to be very, 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 very tough. So we're going to keep our eye on the Hawks to see what they can do going forward. All right, guys. Let's shift gears to college basketball, and then there were 4. The Final Four is here. First of all, Tree, I'm going to talk to you about the ladies. What do you think about that thriller with UConn needing not 1 but 2 overtime to knock off the Louisville Cardinals?
Yeah, the basketball has been really phenomenal, and you've seen a lot of overtime games. I'm really surprised at how many overtime games there have been, and it's just really a lot of great basketball being played. I can't wait to see the Final Four. I actually have South Carolina picking it all, winning it all, so they're my pick to win the women's tournament.
All right, let's go to Tyrone. Tyrone, I don't know how much you got a chance to watch or inspect the women, but their Final Four. South Carolina has been a great team. UConn, a great team from my home state. I didn't realize that this is 15 straight Final Four appearances for UConn. Do you have a dog in the fight, Tyrone? If so, who might it be?
Now, I'm a sports person. Just because I may not, play the brackets or anything like that, I am a sports person in my DNA. So this is the part of the season where I love to watch. This is where I will sit and watch from tip-off until the last shot, because this is where you have nothing but the best of the best. You got South Carolina, you got Louisville, you got Connecticut, who basically they know nothing but winning. And you got Stanford, Stanford, hey, they're no slouch themselves. So this is when I can actually sit and watch it from coast to coast. But, UConn, just like when we talk about the men, sometimes you can have history on your side and you just play with a certain type of mindset that you will yourself to win. But again, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be, a barn burner. South Carolina, Louisville, and you got UConn and Stanford. So I can't wait. Let's go.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Both Final Fours got that pedigree, man, because you mentioned those 4 teams. You talk about Stanford, you talk about South Carolina, you talk about UConn. All three of those teams have won national titles, and they're used to being in the Final Four. So, yeah, man, some must-see TV. And a big shout-out to the women because, Tree, I hear the ladies now are making that move in terms of getting those sponsored dollars. You see the ladies do a much better job as far as attracting fans during the early games, and they're pushing for more equality, gender equality in that money.
They are, and they actually have a lot of broadcasting deals. This is the first year that they extended the tournament just like they did for the men. This is the first year that they're calling their tournament March Madness. I mean, they're doing and making a lot of great changes for the women's basketball tournament, and I'm really excited to see it. And I'm very happy that all of the women are getting the exact same gifts that the men receive. Last year, I was so disappointed with the NCAA. It was just heartbreaking. I mean, I played college sports and I'm a female athlete, and I felt like if I would have gone to a championship tournament that men or the guys were at, and the guys just got all of these great gifts and we just got barely anything, I would not have felt good. And so I had to write a letter to the NCAA because as an alumni, I can't give gifts to the current players on my team, and I wanted to sponsor all the women. But with my small business that I have, I sent every female and every coach on the Middle Tennessee women's basketball team because they went to the big dance, and the NCAA approved where I could give them the gift. And so I sent them all one of my spa boxes, and I put a large note in there that said, "You matter," because I want them to know that they matter. And that was the least I can do. So I'm very happy that the NCAA are making a lot of changes for the women's tournament this year, and I think that they need to keep it up.
So, in other words, what you tell me is all about that swag bag. You as long as they
I
got
think
that.
that's part of it. But when you think about it, Tyrone, I'm sure you know because you've played in a lot of tournaments, and even like when you go to the Super Bowl, yeah, it's nice to be there, but everybody likes getting the nice gifts that you get from the sponsors and the backpacks and, just all that. It's just the things that make you feel special. It's the little things. And I feel that if you're going to do it for one, you should do it for both.
Yeah, Tree is right on that point. When we played the Super Bowl, they already have the bags. Like if you are a Nike, I was a Nike guy. So if you're an Adidas guy, whatever, then they have your bag in there, just give you all kind of goodies, man. And, most of the time I gave my stuff away to, my kids or maybe the family members. They just give you so much stuff. So it is good to know that people are congratulating you and wishing you well when you walk in there and you see that goodie bag. So yeah, I agree with you, Tree. Do it for one, do it for all.
Yeah, and definitely, before it was a case where, at times you didn't think maybe the women's game was as exciting as the men's game, but now that's not the case. Women are bringing it. Women are dunking more. Women are hitting more three-pointers. And definitely, to me, the game's more entertaining. And I like South Carolina. I told Coach Staley to her face, I said, hey, you the main reason why I started watching women's basketball. Well, I saw her come down court and drop that between the legs, Lisa Leslie. I said, oh, they do it like that for real? Yeah, I was in. Yeah, so and of course those teams are probably the greatest women's teams ever assembled, but nevertheless, we've seen some ballers coming out now. So yeah, hats off to y'all, your crew, Tree. Appreciate y'all for on the come up, doing some nice stuff here. So yeah, and the bottom line is if you're producing the revenue, you have to get your fair share of the money. I mean, just like the women's soccer team, the same thing. They were like, look, we're drawing more than the men. So why are they getting more money than us? The men's team can barely get to the World Cup. The women have won it on multiple occasions. They're like, come on, what's up with that? So yeah, no doubt, I'm happy the women getting that money. Do what you have to do, get your sneaker contracts, all of that stuff. So
yeah, and that's another thing. I'm very happy that you're starting to see some of the women on the commercials, like with CarMax and Subway. They're incorporating the female athletes, and I think it's Capital One. So you're seeing Sue Bird and these other female athletes that are starting to get more endorsement deals. And I think that that's just really phenomenal. Now, as far as the basketball with the collegiate level, no, the women are not making as much money as the men are at this time. But I think that with the televised games and more people realizing and seeing it, because the games at home are selling out for a lot of the big teams. So they're having sellout crowds at all of their games. And I think that it will get to that level. So I'm just happy that they're taking the steps to believe in them and to give them the television opportunities and to also bring awareness and more commercials and just focus also on the women's game.
Well, first you mentioned, even though men's basketball and football obviously rule the roost in the NILs, women's basketball is right behind them, along with
Yeah.
women's soccer. So the women collegians now are cashing the NILs as well. So I mean, yeah, big shout out to all that. We want to make sure all these people get their money. So yeah, it's good stuff. Well, look, guys, we're going to take a quick little break. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Please keep it locked right here for more.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
All right, we're back here with the Real Talk Sports Show. Again, I'm your host, Mr. Jonathan Simmons. Right next to me, the lovely Miss Tree Dolman, and right below us, the two-time Super Bowl champion, the one and only Tyrone Poole is in the building. Well, let's shift gears a little bit to football. An era is over. We talked a little bit about it last week. Matt Ryan, 14 years with our Atlanta Falcons, is now, it's strange to say it, an Indianapolis Colt. Tyrone, you played for the Colts for a little bit. What do you think about Matt coming to that team? I think that he's got, with that team, that they're currently configured, Jonathan Taylor, one of the best running backs in the league. They have a stout defense. I think that this is a playoff team. What do you think?
Well, you said it yourself right there, Jonathan. What makes a team go? I still believe in old school football. I think you have to run the ball on offense and you have to stop the ball running the ball on defense. And Matt Ryan, I think he walks into a pretty doggone good situation. They got a great running game. The coach didn't have anybody at the helm, a veteran, someone like Matt Ryan. I think, a lot of people say, well, Matt doesn't get too rowdy. He's not vocal. Well, I've learned that sometimes you can be a great leader just within silence. You don't have to go out there and bump helmets with everybody like you may see some of the quarterbacks doing. But I think Matt Ryan is going to have a great opportunity in Indianapolis. I think he gives them that veteran presence, that person that let's not forget, Matt has been to some Super Bowls. So I'm pretty sure that's what Frank Reich and all of the offensive and the Colts as a general team was looking at. So I think it's going to be very good. Matt Ryan arm, people say it may not be as strong. Of course, he has some AC joint injuries, but I think you have a good running game. Play action comes into great play, and Matt Ryan is smart when it comes to throwing the ball where the defense allows him to throw the ball. So I think it's going to be good for the Colts. I think it's going to be good for Matt Ryan. I think he's just going to etch himself closer to being a nominee for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that he's a guy that can do well in Indianapolis as well. Tree, what are your thoughts about Matt Ryan gone from the Falcons?
I mean, I'm not happy about it. I like Matt Ryan, and I thought that he was a good quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. I understand that he was getting frustrated and not feeling appreciated, and I think that he has gone into a great situation for himself. I think that he is going to have a phenomenal season next year with the Indianapolis Colts, and I think that it's what's best for his career and his family. So I'm happy for him, but I will miss seeing him in the Atlanta Falcons uniform.
Well, as you guys reminded me, you were telling me that I did speak of Matt exiting the premises. I did not want him to leave in this way. I wanted to bring in a quarterback to be his understudy, so that's not what's going to happen. Marcus Mariota is a great guy, good Christian guy. He has proven that he can win in the NFL. He did take the Titans to the playoffs, so I don't think that he's kind of just a patchwork guy. I think that he can actually, if he's given the right playbook, which it seems like he knows Arthur Smith, he might be able to do some work. Okay, our man Todd, as always, has the inside news. He said, breaking news from inside his sources with the Atlanta Falcons that they will be taking Malik Willis from Liberty with that number 8 pick, even if they have to trade up to get him. Tree, what do you think about the young gunslinger with the
great arm and great feet coming to Atlanta.
Hey, whoever they get, I'm curious to see how they do. So I think that with the Falcons, it probably would, I don't know. Whatever they do, I'm curious to see. You never can really tell how somebody will pan out until they get to the NFL. Some people do very well in college, and when it comes to the NFL, they just never pan out like you thought they would. Some people have a nice, decent collegiate career, and then when they get to the NFL, they excel, and you just never know. So it really just depends on the player and how quickly they can pick things up and learn from the people that have already been there, because you get some kids that may think they know it all just because they excelled in college, but when they get to the NFL, they realize it's a totally different game, and you have to earn your respect because everybody there is the best of the best.
Tyrone, what do you think about them moving up to get Malik Willis from Liberty?
Well, when you look at the draft order, you look at Jacksonville, they pretty much don't need a quarterback. They got Trevor Lawrence, so not worried about them picking Willis. Detroit Lions, they feel like they may still have a quarterback there. Now the Houston Texans, now this is where it gets interesting. The Houston Texans, they need some type of bright spot to come to Houston. So could he be a Houston Texan? If the Falcons are going to jump up, then that's probably where they would probably have to trade or maybe do something with Detroit to jump ahead of Houston Texans. And then you look at the Jets, of course, they're not looking for a quarterback. I think the Giants may be Pat. And then you got the Carolina Panthers. I think they're looking for a quarterback. I actually saw Willis work out, and I saw in the background you had Matt Rule, the head coach of the Panthers. He was right behind Willis. So if the Falcons are going to do something, if the Texans don't take Willis, then the Falcons better try to make a trade with the New York Giants to try to jump ahead of the Panthers, because I think the Panthers may decide to take Willis. They need help up there.
Yeah, I think after Willis put on that performance, man, on his pro day, the Falcons are over. And the other thing, too, is Arthur Blank. He's looking for somebody that can come in here that can excite this fan base. And certainly you got people chomping at the bit, looking at Malik Willis, looking at him, kind of bringing you back to the Michael Vick days, a guy that can run the ball, but he's got a cannon for an arm. There's no question that's kind of the way the league is going right now. And even he talked about that in his interview. He said, look, I'm kind of the type of quarterback that fits into kind of where the NFL game is going right now. Somebody's mobile, somebody that can throw on the one, and somebody can get the deep ball out. So if he's as advertised, yeah, he could be a serious situation. All right, let's go here to Todd. He said the level of competition he had is not the SEC. He said, I don't agree with it. Keep in mind, he was a guy that was a D1 program guy that left and went to Liberty, and it seemed like he stepped up his game. Let's go to H.C. Hardy. He said, Matt Ryan. Oh, say it again?
No, I was laughing. I like his comment.
Can I answer that comment right there? What Todd was saying. Well, Todd, I went to a Division II school. All right. So the way you play it in college don't mean jack. Okay. It's about talent. I went to Division II, but when I got amongst the other guys who quote unquote were supposed to be D1 talent, I stood out just as much as they did. And on top of that, started 12 years, won 2 Super Bowls for Fort Valley State University, HBCU. So Todd, I disagree with that.
Yeah, bottom line, if you can play, you can play. That's really it. I mean, that's the one thing that when Coach Johnson was here at Georgia Tech, he said all the time, he said, look, you're coming to get an education, and if you can play good enough to go in the league, it's not like they can't find you. I mean, there's tape, everybody's getting their games on some type of way, live stream tape, on demand. It's on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, ESPN3. So this idea that you can't be seen or somehow the competition is not as great, hey, man, people are balling out.
That's true.
So, if you can play well, if you're a dominant player at Division II, then it is going to be what it is. Let's go to H.C. Hardy. He said Matt Ryan will be an impact to the team, talking about the Colts. He said, like when Mr. Dolman came to Atlanta, leadership, experience, and still dominated the game. So he's giving your hubby a big shout out because
shout out to my baby, my hubby.
He was a baller, no doubt about it.
And still went to the Pro Bowl. He went to the Pro Bowl for all 3 teams that he played for. So that was phenomenal.
And that's why he's in the Hall of Fame, because it's very hard to play at that level for 3 different teams because, as Tyrone will tell you, oftentimes the schemes are different. You have different players that you work with and work off of. So the fact that he was able to kind of be that kind of dominant guy on 3 different teams, shout out to him and big kudos for all the stuff that he's done.
All right. The other thing the Falcons really need is they really need help everywhere. But definitely they're going to have to get a defensive player in here that's an impact guy. They need somebody that can give them at least double-digit sacks. I think if they don't get that, it's going to make it very hard for them to compete. I don't care if they have, a second coming of Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. You need somebody that can rush that passer. So I'm looking for the Falcons to, if they do get Malik Willis, it's supposed to be a very deep draft for edge rushers. I think that in that second pick, they definitely are going to have to pick up an edge rusher, and they might do that, pick up defenders over the next two rounds. Of course, now that's if they're able to somehow get Malik Willis and still keep their picks. Now, if they have to give up the farm to get him, they might have to kind of go to the, hopefully get the what they call the bargain basement guys in round 4, round 5. So it'll be interesting to see what the Falcons are going to do going forward. They got to do something to energize the fan base because, as I mentioned, people are bailing out on their annual, what do you call those things? The seat licenses. People are defaulting on those left and right. So they got to find a way to get some excitement in the stadium.
Yes, all you see are red seats instead of bodies in the seats, so they have to fill the stands.
But I tell you what, they just say if hypothetically they do get Willis, but if they don't surround him with talent, then Willis is going to be just like Justin Fields up in Chicago. Okay, he's going to be running around, not productive, and sometimes that stuff could take a scarring. It could leave a scarring on you. Go ask Sam Donald. All them years with the Jets, he come to Carolina. I still think he got stage fright. Okay, so again, a good player, you want to go to a good team. If you're a rookie, you want to be in a situation that produces and allows you to produce your talent. So I don't want to see Willis, a great talent. I think he's a great talent. To come here in Atlanta, and the offensive line is not secure, which I'm pretty sure they would probably keep Mariota. He would be the starter. But again, how much can Mariota teach Willis? He hasn't been a starter himself. So like you said earlier, Jonathan, if Matt Ryan has still been here, you bring Willis in, then, now Willis has an opportunity to learn, kind of like that Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers situation. But what I don't want to happen to Willis is what is happening to Justin Fields in Chicago.
Or better yet, to some degree, if they do bring him here, Marcus Mariota can teach him on that, because if you go back and look at Marcus Mariota's history, he said in the press conference, he said that basically that year when he got benched, he was both physically and mentally beaten. Why? Because the Titans didn't have the running game or the offensive line that they had here. The other thing, too, he has a tendency to run the ball too much into contact. And Tyrone, you know how important it is to kind of run away from contact, if possible, at the quarterback position. And he said he just beat. And so if Willis does come here, that's
what I'm talking about. Look at his career. He was a outstanding Oregon Duck, and now coming to the NFL, rated very high. And look at his career. Look what all those running and getting hit. Look what it took him. It's just like playing bad golf, man. You can't come. You don't want to start having bad swings, because those things are hard to correct sometimes. So I just want whatever is best for these guys. They go into the right situation, man, and that's all I want. And the other thing is, I'll say this: I've never seen a NFL team. Somebody correct me. I have not seen an NFL team yet that has won a Super Bowl with a mobile, like a quarterback just running. All they do is RPOs and run. No, you win Super Bowls with pocket quarterbacks who are mobile. Now, I'll take that. Steve Young, he was a mobile quarterback, but he was a pocket quarterback. Just go back and look at history. How many Super Bowls have been won by quarterbacks that they roll to the right and roll to the left? And come back and tell me. So I want Willis to be able to learn, use his talent. That's why I love Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, a pocket passer, but he has the ability to scramble. I love Deshaun Watson. He'll sit in the pocket and throw the ball. And that's what I'm hoping I want Willis to be able to do.
Well, I think he's going to learn how to do that. And that's why everybody wanted Deshaun Watson here. Let's go once again to social media. Todd is saying Grady better be getting a realtor. That's all I can say. Todd thinks Mr. Grady is gone. Because listen, the guy's making a lot of money, and certainly he doesn't fit in the scheme that we currently have with Dean Pease. So it's going to be very interesting. One last thing before we take a break, we're going to go to Mr. H.C. Hardy. He said not only that, it was proven that Ken Whisenhunt didn't want to draft him as well. Yeah, I mean that's the other problem. If you got a situation where your GM or your owner wants a player in and the coach doesn't think he has a system to fit that guy, yeah, nothing good's gonna happen out of that. So, like I said, whatever they do, they need to make sure they get some defense, and they really need a little help on the offensive line. But we need a little help. So that's why we got some sponsors from time to time, and we're going to support them right now. We'll be back in just a moment with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Keep it locked right here. Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net. All right, guys, we're back here. Final segment. We're going to keep it brief because, like I said, we're going to have a little shorting on the show here because we got some things we got to take care of. Before I go, listen, guys, I want you to please lock it in. Technically, Saturday, 12 a.m., lock your station if you have cable to either 295 on Comcast or Channel 6 on AT&T. Our monthly sports show called The Spirit of Sports will be on. Please, man, please, sir, tune in. We'll be covering a little bit of NASCAR. We're doing some of the Harlem Globetrotters. We got a great show coming up. It's only half an hour, so please tune in. Check us out. If you do can't get to your TV, it also streams online on, I think it's on AIBTV.com. So, again, check me out, The Spirit of Sports, bringing you the great stuff that people are doing on and off the courts, especially those things to support our youth. So keep it locked right there. 295 on Comcast, Channel 6 on AT&T, midnight on Saturday morning. Well, we know when we do this show, we always like to try to bring back some of our favorite guests and contributors. This lady helped us break out the lockdown living room back in the day when everything was just COVID. We can't get out. She was a great stalwart. She's doing some great things. So since it's Women's History Month, we have bring her back. The most beautiful football player we know, the lovely Miss Candace Mitchell, is back in the building. What's going on?
Hey there, how's it going?
We're doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for allowing me to join you. I just got off of a webinar with USA Football and BSN and some fabulous women in the world of football. So it's great to just keep it going.
Well, absolutely. So tell us a little bit. Last time that you were on with us, you were here locally in Atlanta as an athletic director, but now you on the come up. Where are you now? Tell people.
Well, because of COVID and the global pandemic, USA Football decided to go 100% remote. I took a position with USA Football in September of 2021. So I've just been on a few months, and I serve in the role of Director of Football Development. Just a dream come true because you know how close football is to my heart and my soul. So to be a part of the governing body of the sport of American football it's been a dream come true, and my pleasure to be a part of such a great organization.
Yeah, no doubt. You guys may or may not know, but Candace is kind of a trendsetter. I believe was the first woman to actually coach high school football in terms of coaching. I think the linebackers at Henry County. Did I get that right? Henry County High School?
Yes.
And also was a tight end / linebacker right here with the women's pro football team in Atlanta as well.
Yes, I used to play for the Atlanta Explosion and the Atlanta Phoenix, and I am currently a linebacker with Alabama Fire. So I moved over to Alabama, and I play flag and tackle with the ladies in Birmingham.
Tree, what do you think about Miss Mitchell, as you see, very lovely out here, playing of all positions, linebacker?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough position. So big kudos, girl power. That's what I like to say. So you out there, I love watching those games. I know in the past when I was living in Tennessee, people were trying to get me to join the football leagues all the time as a quarterback or wide receiver. But watching the women out there, those women are fierce. They are playing some serious football, and I love watching it. It is phenomenal.
Yes.
Tyrone, what do you think about Miss Mitchell and her endeavors going on with women's professional football? Because like I said, I've seen them. They actually are playing like, I know they play some flag, but what I saw here in Atlanta was tackle football.
Tread lightly, Tyrone.
I know. How you doing? How you doing? Well, you know what? I got a question for you. A real deep question. The NFL just came up with the new Rooney Rule. How do you think this is going to impact the women who are now playing tackle football? Will you see a flux of women now? You know, say, hey, I want to go coach in the NFL now. Or will they continue to play in the women's league?
I think that some women are interested in just continuing on the pathway of being a player. And then there are a few women who are truly interested in having an opportunity to coach, whether it be on the college level or the NFL level. I think that the Rooney Rule and opening it up, because the last I read was that now you would have to include a minority and a female in the offensive assistant position. So I just think that this is another avenue just to give women an opportunity, you know, and I don't think it's about giving a woman an opportunity who is not qualified. I am all a part of that woman being qualified to hold that position. We're not looking for a handout, you know, we are just looking for an opportunity that wouldn't normally be there.
And I got my last question. Did you ever close your eyes before you made a tackle?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I watched them. I think it was the year they won their first or second championship. And I don't know what I expected. I really don't know. And, you know, Candace knows I've told this story multiple times on the show, but I'm going to tell it again because she hasn't been on for a while. So I go out, I'm covering the game. I'm like, okay. And look, Tyrone, they got like the life size, you know, billboard posters. And, you know, we saw a couple of linemen. I said, well, they look like some linemen. Then I saw, like, you know, the glamour position, the quarterback. I said, okay. Then all of a sudden, all I saw was like this number 51 and all his hair. I was like, what? And then the title, the Pantene Queen. I was like, what on earth? And that was Miss Mitchell. That was her nickname because that hair just flew in the wind as she went up there from that linebacker position and made the play. But yeah, they were hitting with some. Now, Candace, I thought you went in retirement because didn't you come back with the fire and get a little injured? I thought you were.
I did. I came back last year because I was playing flag. The Bama Fire picked me up to play flag. They're nationally ranked women's flag team. And so to be picked up by a nationally ranked women's flag team was exciting for me. And just being a part of that team, the head coach of the flag team is also the head coach of the tackle team. And so he asked me, you know, about joining the tackle team and perhaps serving as a player coach type situation. And I was like, you know, coach, I hadn't played tackle since 2017 being the year that I was on Team USA. But after thinking about it for just a few hours, maybe, I said, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. And so I came out of retirement last year to play with Alabama Fire. And game 3, I ended up breaking my leg. So, you know, one thing that I did say, if I had the opportunity, because number 51 is so special to me, I always said, if I could play to 51, I would. So I am 51, and I am going to give myself an opportunity to come back and hit the field. I did have surgery actually just maybe 3-4 weeks ago on my knee, something unrelated to my broken leg. But my physical therapist say I have like a few more weeks of healing. And so I look to join my teammates midway through the season, and we'll see what goes from there. That way I will officially retire at 51. 51 will be done at 51.
Now, did you say like Mike Singletary? We like this kind of party, baby. We're going to be here all day. We like this type of party.
All day. You know, crazy people play linebacker, you know, so hey, I'm a little bit crazy about this game. It's hard to let go. We just talked about that in the webinar. It's, you know, for women join this game a little bit later. You know, boys, you guys come out the womb, you know, talking about playing football. We didn't find this game until we were adults, most of us, until now it's being opened up for, you know, younger age girls to get involved. You've got different pathways. You got the flag growing, you know, for girls to get them more involved. So there are a lot of us who are ending our careers in football at, you know, in our 50s. There are even a couple of women playing in their 60s around the nation. But
Wow.
yes, absolutely. Yes.
I'm shocked because I was about to say the fact that you're playing at 51, which first of all, you look phenomenal at
Oh, thank
51.
you.
I definitely would not think that you were going to say that you are 51 after you say you wanted to play until 51. So you look fabulous. And secondly, the fact that you're out there playing football at 51 and hearing that so many other women are out there at 51 and even sometimes up until 60, I mean, that just blows my mind.
And I'm not the oldest on my team.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I want to know what the trash talk is like. Well, what do you guys say? Like, I'm gonna take your boyfriend. You better not. Like, what do you guys say? What's that trash?
I'm gonna take your boyfriend. I'm gonna take your girlfriend. You know, and probably the same thing that you heard in Piles, Tyrone. Probably the same thing.
Wow, that's a
Do y'all have any junk talkers like John Randall?
Listen, it gets ugly. It gets ugly, but I think it's very similar, especially in the world of social media. You know, one of my teammates who is heavy in social media, talking about what we gonna do and who we gonna beat. But then when we were having a teaming, she's like, "Y'all, it's a target on our back," and I'm like, "Girl, you drew the target." Yeah, so there's a lot of trash talking, you know, on social, but it's all in fun. It's all in fun because we truly love and respect one another. We know the sacrifices that we make as women, you know, to make this happen because, you know, unlike men like Tyrone, when you guys were coming through, we have 9 to 5 jobs. And then we try to squeeze in a practice, and then we try to squeeze in a game with our babies on the sideline, you know, so this is different, you know, but we have a true love and respect for one another because we know the sacrifices that we're making to be able to participate in a game that we all love so much.
Okay, my man Todd always got to throw in a little zinger. He said, Candace, I would send an application to the Falcons. We need leaders on the Falcons. And now the NFL is paying for a woman to be on the team as an offensive coach. Well, I will tell you, you guys remember I covered the Super Bowl along with Tree. I had to do virtually. Tree was there. And that was, I believe, Tree, there was a total of 6 coaches between the two teams that were female coaches between the 49ers and the Chiefs. So yeah, I mean this is no joke, man. I mean, this is something where women are making a big impact. Well, listen, we got to wrap this thing up. Before we go though, we remember when Ken was talking about the babies be on the sideline. Well, somebody's baby done grown up, and he's one of the best running backs in college football. Tell us a little bit about your son real quick before you go, Candace.
My son Keaton Mitchell is a running back at East Carolina. And so he's been dubbed the fastest running back in college football. I think at 22.6 miles per hour. I don't know how they figure that out, but you know, technology. And he is also maybe top 5 in yards for running backs in college football. So I'm proud of my little guy.
Now, how cool would it be? Now, I know this would be the ultimate for you if somehow he got drafted by the Falcons.
Oh man,
I know you wouldn't know what to do. I mean, that would be incredible.
You know, that's you know, only God knows, and if that's in God's plans, you know, we totally be proud of him. Whether he got drafted by the Falcons or by the Browns. my teammate coaches for the Browns, and then my girl Jennifer King, she's a running back coach for the Commanders, and she's a fan of Keaton's.
Right, and she's right down there, so she knows, and I'm sure she sees him a lot. All right, listen, we'll let you go here, but tell people how they can find out more about you, social media, website. Miss Candace Mitchell, the floor is yours.
You can follow me on Twitter at KPMitchell51. Don't worry about Facebook; that's just for friends. But I'm also on LinkedIn. You can find me there. Or you can find me at USA Football, kmitchell@usafootball.com if you ever need to reach me about anything. I'm excited to talk about football, to talk about women in football, girls in football, and how we are going to continue to grow this game.
Well, look, no excuses now. The living room is unlocked. So we want to make sure that you get back here on this show real soon.
Absolutely.
All right, Candace, we appreciate you. God bless.
You just give me the right link to get in the house, man.
Yeah, but this time I gave you the link early. This time,
Tree, don't let him do me like that.
I got you.
Wow, you can put me on blast like that at the end of the show, man. Wow,
Okay.
all right. Always a blessing. See you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Tyrone Poole, the floor
is yours.
Yeah, I'll be real quick. Tyrone Poole, 38, all social medias. And I'll say this, the NCAA men, we didn't talk about it quick, but I'll say something quickly about it. Villanova and Kansas, I'm going to go with Kansas. And I think the Duke and North Carolina, I think Duke is they got to be a little bit shaking in their boots with North Carolina. I'm going with North Carolina. So for the finals, I think it's going to be Kansas and North Carolina. And then maybe I'll look and find out who is going to win, and I'll tell you guys about that. But Tyrone Poole, 38, all social media.
Tyrone Poole, glad you brought that up, brother, because this is probably one of the ultimate Final Fours. Nothing but blue bloods. Villanova, two-time champion. Duke, of course, multi-time champion. UNC, a champion, and as well as Kansas, man. So this is about as good as it gets. Tyrone Poole, until next time. God bless you, sir.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Tree Dolman, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. You can find me on all social media at It's Latresa, as well as Ms. America International 2021. And looking forward to seeing you guys next week, Lord willing.
Here we go. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. As you know, you can see by the title there, yes, I'm a real live minister. It's not a fake. I did not get my certificate from the lunchbox. I actually am a licensed minister. And I always tell you guys before you go, if you do not know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, please, man, please, sir, get to know him today. Why? Because a couple of great things. Number one, you get the chance to become a full-blown citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, you become an adopted child of God with all the rights therein. That means that you can now go to God as your Father, ask for anything that you need or desire, and according to his will, of course, he will grant unto you. And when you die, because we all got to do that at some point, you go to that happy place called heaven where there's none of the following: no pain, no pandemic, no bad people. It is sunny and bright all the time. And guess what? You get to see God and Jesus Christ face to face and all those other people that you love so much that love him as well. And you avoid that unhappy place called hell where all the things that are not in heaven are in hell. So it's a bad place. It stinks. It smells. You got horrible people everywhere. And most of all, you're cut off from God and Jesus Christ forever and a day. I don't know about you, but I like option number one instead of option number two. All right, guys, until the next time. God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day. So long.